Hey y'all, my name is Sarah and welcome to my channel. Hi guys, today I have for you another art supply haul. Today is featuring only handmade paints. So first I'm going to be opening my latest package from Nightshade watercolors, and I will leave a link to the companies in the description box right down there. So please make sure you visit their websites, take a look. Nightshade is an amazing paint. The quality is fantastic. The price can't be beat. You get a full pan for somewhere between $5 to $6.50 US dollars. Panicky has put some new paints in his shop. He's got, well, I'll go through them all, but he's also been doing some mixes. So he's got a sap green and a neutral tint that I'm gonna show for you today. So yeah, I think he's got a really balanced range now. I'm still looking for a darker brown, like a burnt umber or sepia. I have requested that he create one of these at some point, so maybe he'll do that soon. But in the meantime, I'm gonna open up these beautiful pans, get them into my set, and show you what they look like. These pans are basically liquid. I'm just gonna do a little scrapey scrape here. All right, so I've unwrapped all the paints. I have a mess on my hands, so I'm going to go wash my hands, and then I'm going to do my swatch card and show all the new colors together. I just want to explain before I do this swatch card that the reason Nightshade watercolors are so wet in the pan is because he puts honey in them. So they're very similar to M. Graham watercolors in that way, and it's been very humid outside, especially today. So that's why the paints are so runny. So depending on where you live and your climate, you may have to deal with runny paints if you order from Nightshade, but you get nice full pans of paint. I mean, it's not, I don't feel like you're losing a ton of paint when you pull off the foil. So, you know, just making you aware, they are messy and they are worth it. So I'm going to do my new swatch card. And let's check out these paints. So I'm doing the whole swatch card. I'm gonna speed this up and I might slow down on the new colors. The sap green uses PO49, which is the original quinacridone gold. It's quite difficult to find these days. It's a really nice sap green. Here's that Chinese yellow. It's really an interesting shade of yellow. I expected it to be more like a yellow-green, but it's not. It's almost more like a raw sienna. I'm not familiar with PY156, so I should look into it. And here is Nightshade's original Quin Gold Genuine. It's very deep and very orange. It's much richer than the imitations we see, or the blends we see these days. It's really beautiful. Nightshade Cerulean Blue is such a... It feels very soft in the pan. It almost feels like a gouache. It's very, very rich. It's like if regular colors were cake, cerulean blue would be a brownie. When you put them right next to each other, you can really see the difference between the phthalo green and the phthalo teal. Okay. Oh, that's a really, really nice perylene green. Usually they're not quite as green as that. That's beautiful. I wonder if it dries more dull. Okay, that's the last color, neutral tint. And this is definitely a blend. I just love that mixing a red and a green or a pink and a green gives you purple. So fun. Alright, so there you have it. There's my new swatch card. I definitely think the Chinese yellow resembles raw sienna, for sure. It's a beautiful selection. These are all of Nightshade's paints currently available. I think that they are working on expanding the color choices significantly, so if you're interested, keep an eye out on the website, because as of right now, it seems like he updates the colors maybe once every couple of months. And he just dropped Chinese Yellow, Sap Green, Perylene Green, and Neutral Tint. Those are the new colors that he just put out. Anyway, so that's all for this part of the swatching. I encourage you to check out Nightshade watercolors. Now we're going to move on to my new batch of case for making paints. Okay, so here we are with Art Haul Part 2. As you can see, I ordered another package from Case for Making. So I'm going to open this up, swatch the paints really fast, and then show you what I've done with my Case for Making paints, because if I want to keep all of the paints in the same palette, they will no longer fit in the cute, tiny 12 pan palettes that I've been buying from them. I'm using those palettes for other things, little travel sets, and I will keep all my Case for Making paints in a larger palette. So I'll show you that in a bit. Let's get into this package. So this might feel like a little bit of deja vu. I have basically reordered the same things again, but in different colors. So my partner decided that she wanted to partake in the pencil goodness. So I ordered another one of those 7-color pencils. And I ordered another miniature mechanical pencil. So yes, I ordered another tiny palette. I needed it. It's white. It's matte white. It's gorgeous. I don't even have a use for it yet, but since I was ordering the pencils, I thought I'll just get another palette. So I did. I'm sure, absolutely sure, I will find a set of paints to put in here. And finally, we have 6 more colors. I ordered Citron Yellow, French Vermilion, Primary Red, Fluorescent Magenta, Ultramarine Blue Light. They don't have a non-light ultramarine. And Case for Making Pacific, which is a custom blend color. I'm going to get these unwrapped. I will spare you from the unwrapping this time. I will meet you back here when they are ready to go. All right, here we go. I'm going to swatch out these colors and get them into their palette momentarily. This is Citron Yellow. They feel very soft in the pan, meaning they have a high pigment to binder ratio. There's a lot of pigment and perhaps not enough binder. It's fine. I know that they're handmade. That was Citron Yellow. This is Vermilion, one of my favorite colors. I do appreciate that Case for Making's paints flow as I would expect a normal watercolor to flow. There's nothing, you know, unusual about them or how they paint out, other than that sometimes they rub off. This is Primary Red, which should be a sort of non-fluorescent magenta color. And I do want to compare that to the Carmine that I bought previously. So the Carmine is a little darker and cooler. All right, this is the Fluorescent Magenta. I was really impressed with the blends that they sell that use fluorescent colors. So that's the ones that I have are Moss and Poppy. And they're really beautiful. And this magenta color, I mean, I doubt you can see in the camera, but this color is, it is more vibrant than the 2 paints that I have tried of Opera Pink. And let's try that Ultramarine Light. Now I bought this and the Process Red, which was this one, and the yellow specifically because I needed more primary colors in the palette. And man, that Ultramarine Blue really is nice. I'll be interested to see if it granulates. And the final color for this round is Pacific. On the website, this has a really nice separating quality. I'll be interested to see if it separates. Just gonna mess with it a little more than normal. Get it to split. All right, I'm gonna let those dry for a few minutes and I'll come back to show the dry swatches. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you the palette that I decided to use for my Case for Making set. So this is the Citron Yellow. gonna go right there. I did put in my own nickel azo yellow because I don't believe they have something like that in their line. And then the vermilion and the primary red. This is the carmine knockerot. This is the magenta. That is garnet lake, purple lake, something like that. Then I have plum, indigo, then my ultramarine light, then my cerulean hue, which is very much a phthalo blue. And then I'm going to put the Pacific, I think I will put there. So I do have maybe 5 slots left where I could add more colors, but we'll see. This is turquoise lake. This is moss, cypress, ochre, Italian gold ochre, red hematite, blue ridge red hematite, and then burnt umber dark. So all my little dudes are in their happy homes. I'm going to put these rails back in. I like to put the side of the rails with a thicker edge on the inside because it seems to help these paints keep their position a little better. So yeah, I will do a swatch card for these off of camera, but I just wanted to get them open and show you so that I could use them in my palette. So I'm pretty happy with these. The carmine knockerot in particular has a very strong tendency to crumble, very crumbly. Like definitely needed more binder. And the cypress is also similar. Once I use them in the pans a bit, they tend to settle down, but all of the paints seem to feel a little bit crumbly in the pan, sort of soft, like powder. It just makes me feel like they haven't put enough binder in. Let's get to those dry swatches really fast. So the Pacific isn't showing a huge amount of separation, but I am sort of seeing it on the edges. It's kind of got a gray undertone. The magenta looks gorgeous. The primary red actually turned more, it got a little warmer. It's very similar to the carmine, but I think I prefer the texture of the primary red, so I may end up using it more than the carmine. The vermilion is gorgeous. The citron yellow is gorgeous. I mean, I think I'm really happy with the paints and the colors that they are, and I think this set will be really fun for me. So check out Case for Making. They have a gorgeous website full of all kinds of fun stuff, all kinds of ceramic palettes, and they have these little mini palettes, and they have custom sets. They have some really fun looking custom sets too, like there's one called All the Feels, and they have a portrait set and a desert set and a lakeside set. I think it's lakeside, oceanside, seaside maybe. So anyway, I think that they're a good brand for the niche that they fill. So I think you should go take a look if you're interested, and I will feature these paints probably in some paintings in the near future. Bye.